Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, I'm going to be doing another metaphorical story form of hypnosis, which is full of what many hypnotists would call the Milton model. So ambiguous things that don't make sense in and of themselves, but things that can be interpreted and matched to create meaning within your own world. So a lot of this may seem a bit strange or odd, but just trust that your unconscious mind is working on in the background to figure out how to create meaning and progress from these things. Always keen to hear feedback, so if you do have any thoughts on these new style of hypnosis that I'm doing, drop me a message on Instagram. So it's at Adam Cox Official. Drop me a message, let me know your thoughts, because it's always good to get a feedback loop with these kind of new podcast episodes. But for now, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, imagine breathing in a feeling of calm and relaxation, and as you exhale, just allow feelings of worry or tension to leave your body. Breathing in a sense of calmness and resourceful relaxation, and then on the outward breath, if it's safe to do so, allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, just know that you're empowering your imagination to be more magical, more imaginative, to take you on a journey of positive change. Because in your mind, you can do things that aren't feasible in reality. In reality, to move from one country to another country, you'd have to book tickets, arrive at an airport, catch a plane, fly to a different country, and then perhaps connect from that airport to maybe a city or a destination that you're going to. Whereas in your imagination, you can just be there. And I wonder what it would be like to just be there in France. Not in the usual places that people would go to in France within their imaginations, like Paris. I want you to imagine going to a city called Lyon. Imagine arriving in that place, perhaps on a tram or a metro system, and I want you to imagine walking through the streets and seeing the tall buildings and getting a sense that this is a vibrant, interesting city. I want you to imagine seeing not one but two rivers in this city. The impressive bridges, the home of artists, creators. Perhaps somewhere in this city is the thinker, someone that has become a symbol for deep contemplation and thought. And I want you to recall the last time you were a thinker. A time when you were by yourself, deep in thought and contemplation. And imagine that in that space of deep contemplation, I want you to reflect on your own perceived limitations, the barriers of your own comfort zone, the things that it's difficult to stretch beyond. I want you to get a sense that all change can be uncomfortable, but sometimes discomfort is necessary for lasting change. I want you to imagine in this city, blue skies but a chillness in the air. And I want you to imagine that you are wearing whatever clothing is appropriate to be in this cold but beautiful city. Imagine that you have a large cream scarf, black fluffy gloves, a long coat. And imagine walking through the city. And imagine going to an old Roman theatre with the exposed brickwork, revealing that centuries and centuries ago, performances, art, shows were put on display here. From this viewpoint, you can see a city with 2 rivers and impressive sightings. I want you to tap into the bravery of some of the old Romans, exploring a new city, building a new city. Imagine walking to an old church, a large church that overlooks the whole city, and getting a sense that this church represented the idea of protection, the idea of somehow against adversaries like wars and plagues, this city was still protected. And as you walk into this church, I want you to feel that you are absorbing that protection, that you are stronger, that you are protected in some way. As you go down the stairs and you can see all the different shrines and different flags of different nationalities, I want you to get a sense that you don't need to be religious to connect with the idea of being loved and being protected. And that feeling of protection enables you to be more vulnerable and be more of yourself. As you leave the church, I want you to imagine walking down a twisting pathway down into the city, where you're seeing strange restaurants serving strange foods. Maybe there's restaurants advertising bouchon. Maybe there is boutique shops selling praline. And I want you to get a sense that there are different tastes for different people in a place where imagination has ruled. You might walk past a window and see a shop with perhaps art and merchandise and perhaps even a large mug with the Little Prince. And as you walk through the city, I want you to imagine getting a sense of its beauty and its age and connecting with those qualities in you. And then imagine seeing a restaurant, a posh restaurant. As you walk in, you can see the high ceilings, the perfect tablecloth, I want you to get a sense that the purpose of being in this place is to test your comfort zone. I want you to imagine you're ordering escargot, large snails. They're in their shells, and imagine that you're given the devices to take them out, and for you they may be delicious, or for you they may be disgusting, but just imagine that this is just your imagination. And if you find them delicious, then imagine eating them being delicious, and if you find them not, imagine that here in your imagination you're able to do something you wouldn't normally do, not because you need to or want to, but because it's a symbol of going beyond your comfort zone, to do that thing that you wouldn't normally do. And the moment the texture and the taste touches your taste buds, imagine that you're suddenly teleported to a large, comfortable bed, head on the pillow. And I want you to imagine that stretching beyond a comfort zone can mean so many different things in so many different situations, but in essence, it's doing the thing you thought you couldn't do, and by doing it, you have evidence that it is possible for you to do those things. And each time you do something you wouldn't normally do, the world becomes a bigger place, full of adventures, full of new ideas, full of possibilities. And I want you to imagine as you lie there on the bed that someone is reading a story in a language that you don't understand. But the sound of the words and the rhythm of those words send you off into a deep, relaxing trance, where you're able to be truly vulnerable and to drift off into a feeling of wonderment. And then I want you to get a sense that it's the following morning, and you wake up different than perhaps your past. And then I want you to get a sense that as you take a shower, you notice the colour of the water is different. I want you to see it in a different colour, so that you question everything about what you think to be true. Here in your imagination, the rules don't need to apply. There's nothing to say that water can't be blue or green or even red. Nothing is right or wrong, it's just possible. And given that here in your imagination anything is possible, I wonder what it would be like to entertain a future where there are no limitations, that you cannot fail, that your comfort zone is unlimited, nothing is a barrier. What does that future look like where simply everything is possible? And I wonder what qualities within you would mean that you pursue those things. What have you not been pursuing because you think you can't? What have you not attempted because you think you might fail? What are those things that you would try if only you could? I want you to get a sense that the world is a big place. There are countries that you haven't seen yet. There are people you haven't met. There are experiences that you could have but haven't had yet, and in doing so, you become a different person, an evolved person. If a snail spends its whole life in the shell, they never experience everything outside of that shell. And what part of you has been living in a protective shell? That if you were willing to leave that protective place and just try new things and go to new places, what would that be like for you? What is possible for you? And allow that adventurous, creative part of your mind to think, Lyon is just a metaphor for going somewhere new and trying something different, to taste new flavors, to experience new things, and to not just hear new stories, but be new stories. And as you allow your imagination to wonder what is truly possible for you, accept the suggestion that you are unlocking all of the resources to make it true. Sometimes it's been said that when you move in the direction of your dreams, the universe conspires to help you. When you truly start moving in that direction, don't be surprised if luck and fortune are there to help you on that way. Imagine going forward 1, 2, 3 years in the future, that these aren't ideas, but these are now memories, experiences, things that you actually did, and things that have changed who you are and how you think. All because you entertained the idea of leaving your comfort zone, leaving that place that you felt safe. And yes, it involved risk, but that risk gave you courage, resilience, and the experiences to know that you can handle more than you think you can. And now it's time to leave your imagination and Lyon and go back to where you are right now, listening to my voice firmly in the present. In a few moments' time, I will ask you to count from 1 to 10, and you will awaken feeling resourceful, brave and courageous, eager to take on new challenges and take your life in a positive new direction. The direction that you know that you could, but haven't been pursuing. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.